What up, world? You done found the Super Facts Show on the Super Facts Network. Follow us on Instagram at the Super Facts Show. On Facebook, subscribe to the Super Facts Network. If you want to watch the episodes, it's available on YouTube and Facebook. And then if you want to hear it, it's wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher, Deezer, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Rate, review, like, subscribe, follow all that good stuff people will be asking you for. We won't be asking you for no money. And also make sure you subscribe to St. Laz, New York City's greatest storyteller and occasional co-host of the show. All right, y'all go ahead and enjoy the episode after you do all that. What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network. Today we got a mainstay of the New York underground hip hop scene. A work ethic unparalleled, been grinding at all levels for a minute now. Jamel Rocwell, aka Sav Killz. How you doing today, brother?
Maintain itself, man. And it's beautiful, man. Like I can't even complain. A lot of great things are happening.
All right, so I want to start this out with your new project and the two songs that's available, because one definitely has a great story, and I'm sure the other has a great story. But before we get into that, the absence of time, the chronology tape. What's the release schedule looking like for that?
Right now, me and J-Ronin, we curating a whole plan behind that, because it's sort of reminding people of a little bit of my history and what I've been doing along my journey. So it's just sort of like a tape just to remind people of what I've done. And like some of the older classics that I had is going to be on there, like the Champion raps for me and Planet Asia. We Don't Look to the Skies, produced by Beat Butcher from London. Man, I got a lot of stuff on there.
Hey, can we talk about the two songs that are out?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first, the first song, Brooklyn Sun, with John Forte. I mean, there's a hell of a story behind that. Apparently, that's rescued from a lost posse cut that featured Sean Price, right?
Right. What
happened?
Well, it was unfinished work, and Price was supposed to jump on it for whatever reason. I don't really remember what happened. But it was supposed to be a song with me, John Forte, Kenyatta Black, and Price was gonna assist on us with that, was gonna jump on it. But I don't know, we had the track in the stash and it just never happened. So I kind of like said, you know what, I gotta let this go. And I got the blessings of John Forte, and it was like, yeah, okay, we just gonna rock, we're gonna let it rock. So
So John Forte personally, huh?
Yeah, I met the brother. I met John like around the time when he first came home. A lot of people know me for the New York City street grind, and I actually bumped into John on the grind. And he took a liking to he felt my energy and took a liking to me. He was like, yo, God, I gotta rock with you. And it was history from there. And found out he's from Brownsville. And Mind Detect Mind, I'm pretty sure my connection, I am an active member of the Nation of Guards and Earths. And through the grace of that is probably how that came to fruition,
Got you. I know about
it. Yeah. So, Jamel Law is my righteous name. And through that's how that connection came about.
So that, even though that didn't happen, you definitely have more than one song with Sean Price. So I imagine you knew him personally, especially, being in the circles you ran in. What was Sean Price like? And, I've asked this a couple times, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but I don't think they answered the question quite in the way I want.
Right.
What I'm looking for. I do want to know what he's like personally, but what I'm looking for is like, you know, where I'm from, DC is kind of homogenous as far as like what region people listen to. Well, before, like in the 90s, we were listening to rap a lot, West Coast and Clue tapes. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right,
sometimes I'd have to, like when I was in locked up out of state or something, somebody
right,
wouldn't know who Mac Dre was or how important he was. So
right,
I'd have to explain it.
right.
So how would you explain to like a knowledgeable rap fan who wasn't familiar with Sean Price, what he meant to the game and what he was like as a person?
Sean, man, Sean, you felt his being. Um, he was a beautiful soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made you laugh. You know what I mean? He had a way, a gruff type of way of, and that's just us growing up in Brooklyn and how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? And but he was a beautiful soul, man. Like Sean would make you laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like he was one of the few MCs who invited me over for Thanksgiving dinner before he passed away.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
that's solid as hell.
I can't say nothing bad about Price, man. Like, you know, he's gonna forever be remembered through us and through Allah's mathematics and what we represent. You know what I mean? Like I would like to say I'm extended family of boot camp. Like the brothers helped me a lot on the way on my come up, as well as Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? So like MOP, these brothers kind of handed me the torch. But you know,
But how about
it's like,
as far as his musical legacy? Like, how would you explain how much of an impact he had as an MC?
oh man, it's unexplainable what the his magnificence and brilliance when it came to the microphone. You know what I mean? Like I can't even explain what like Sean wasn't he wasn't here. He was in tune. He was tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Like
You know,
it's unexplainable.
I've had people argue with me about this, but I postulated that if you took a album that it doesn't necessarily even have to be his 10 best songs, but his 10 best songs that could be sequenced together to make a cohesive album, that you could put that up against the same version of almost any other rapper's album, and his will be equal, if not better.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, he cared about his craft, man. You know what I mean? Like Sean took his time. Like he cared about his craft, yo. Like it was undeniable. You know what I mean? He took his time with his work. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
his presentation was real.
You like that though? Like when I'm sitting here, because you know I was already familiar with you, but I went and listened to some things I hadn't heard, and
Right.
I noticed that you ain't never half-assed a feature, which is another thing I seen with Sean Price. And like I ain't gonna call
try
out no
not
name.
to.
I called out. I ain't calling no names, but you can tell sometimes people just came there for the check real fast.
Right. Right. I try not to, man. Like man, like I know it's always a fight with me and Planet Asia. Like me and Planet, that's my brother. He always give me a run for my money. Like I still be trying to catch up to him to this day. But anytime I'm on something with him, it's real, and I know I got to come with it. So it's like, you know, we challenge each other, man, to bring out the best in each other and still sharp and still. You know what I'm saying? So. You know what I mean? We only gonna try to give you. We only gonna get not try. We only gonna give you the best, even on our worst days. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig it. Well, before we get to the second question, then about the second song of the album, is there ever gonna be another Gold Chain military project?
Hopefully, it's on Powerful Law. You gotta talk to Powerful Law about that. You know what I mean? That the chain was his brainchild. You know what I mean? And we always manifestations of that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
bro, the first time you heard the Gold Chain Army meets Outbeat, man, what must have went through your head?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe I was sitting there with Alchemist and Lost Professor at the same time. Like,
oh, that was at once. Damn.
At once.
Damn, bro.
I'm in the studio with two super producers the great large professor, and ALC himself, Alchemist. Happy birthday to Alchemist. Alchemist is a Scorpio, and I didn't know that. But happy birthday to ALC.
Damn, that's see that type shit be crazy. You know,
yeah.
So, speaking of touching, you know, like, you know, working with historical figures. So the second song from The Absence of Time. First off, I totally forgot about Dreadnoughts from G.I. Joe. That's the name of the song. But thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. I went down a little YouTube rabbit hole on that. So shout out to you for that. But then it's featuring the tragically underrated Shabaam Sahdeeq, Ras Kass, and another who I consider underrated as an artist and as a cultural figure, Tragedy Gaddafi. And that shit is bro, when you do a posse cut, you sure as hell bring a posse with you, huh?
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, we from that era of where you had to have great posse. You got, you know, we come from that era of great posse cuts, and everybody came with it, and everybody challenged each other. But those brothers I all got history with. Shout out to Shabaam Sahdeeq. You know what I mean? Bam. Me and Bam linked up. Like, Bam used to live around my way, my old hood in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Pulaski, between Marcy and Nostrand. And Bam moved around the way, and this was like a minute ago, you know what I'm saying, some years back, and my relationship with him came from around Bed-Stuy, came from around that way. But we all go back to Flatbush and Bed-Stuy. You know what I mean? Like, those two areas I've been raised in prominently. Ras Kass came through the relationship with J-Ronin. You know what I mean? J-Ronin was cool with Raz. And of course, our West Coast connections with Planet Asia and things of that nature. And Raz took a liking to my work, you know what I mean? And he was willing to jump on things with me. So
yeah, that makes perfect sense creatively. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. And
to be honest with you, I want to hear you on some of his joints, but some of the producers he works with.
Oh, definitely. I'm reaching out to some people now. I would love to do something with Apollo Brown. I've been trying to reach out to
that'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a goal of mine. So, you know, hopefully Allah willing we can make that happen. But and Traj was on that too. You know what I mean? Traj shot the Queensbridge. Traj came through the relationship with J-Ronin too as well. And Traj also was an MC who took a liking of what I was representing and doing and didn't mind jumping on something with me. You know what I mean? Because it's just all about holding that cloth together. You know what I mean? And
what was your history with his music? Like, had you listened to the Intelligent Hoodlum and all that?
Oh, hell yeah. That's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Oh, my man. Okay. We on the same page then, brother.
That's one of my favorite albums, man. You know what I mean? Of all time. Like, I bow down to Traj for that. Like, Intelligent Hoodlum was, that's a historic album, yo. That's one of the greatest hip-hop albums to me.
I agree. I mean, I still listen to it. Still listen to it at least once a year.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I can't, when I turn that album on, I can't turn it off. It's one of those.
Word. Hey, let me ask you this. So since you mentioned Marcy, like tell me how stupid I was for doing this, or if I was good or whatever. So like I don't know about I'm like, you know, I'm from the DC area, and
right.
we would only have go-go tapes really. We wouldn't really get like Clue tapes, maybe a little bit, but definitely like not no Stretch and Barbados or Kid Capri's or Red Alerts, or I mean, I don't think there was no Who Kid back then, but so like I would catch this Greyhound bus and go up New York just to cop mixtapes. It was this express bus, so it ain't never no stops. 4 hours there, 4 hours back. So I catch like the 6 o'clock jump, and I'll be back by like 4 p.m. And I used to like cop them jumps and some in high school and shit. So I'm like 15 and 16 doing this shit, right? And you know, this is like during crack. So it's like cats that's like pushing Beamers that ain't old enough to have a license at school. And these Bammers bet me $1,000 I wouldn't buy a bag from Marcy. So like I caught a cab, and I look probably similar to I do now, except I had 2 real long braids. And I had a cab take me from I guess Port Authority where the Greyhound at to Marcy.
Right.
I remember the cab was like $53, and I took a fucking picture with a Polaroid. You know,
Oh wow.
it wasn't hard to find a Bama to sell me a bag.
Right.
It was hard not to get him to be dubious about the Polaroid though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
And you was in Marcy Projects?
yeah, I did it in front of a little sign that said Marcy Projects, and
I know where you was at.
homeboy made me stick around until the picture developed to make sure you could only see his arm.
Oh wow.
And then I went back
Wow.
and got the 1,000. But was that? It was like about like 2 in the afternoon. Was that wild, dangerous? Like how risky was that?
What year was that?
Like 95.
Oh yeah. It was live. That was one of the livest times over there. Yeah. It was live. You lucky. That was some brave hard shit though. You know what I mean? But like over there at that time, like
I mean,
yeah,
it was probably
wild.
some stunt dummy shit more than some Braveheart shit. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily empty-handed. Like I was entering my own little cycle of incarceration at the time. So, but you know,
If you would have went across the street, like I'm not too sure what side you was on, but if you was on the Myrtle Ave side, there's a chicken spot across the street, and that chicken spot has a picture of Jay-Z with the people in the people who owns the chicken spot. You know what I mean? That's like a famous thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll see a picture with him, the man who runs the chicken spot in Jigga. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like those are special grounds right there, man.
Yeah, I ain't see the chicken spot, and I ain't gonna front. The bag was fat as shit, and it was some fire ass weed for 1995.
Yeah, that weed, yeah. The weed back then, it was multiple spots in that area, man. The weed back then, yeah. That's like
and like that they ain't charge you for no extra either. It was just like a dub was like 4 blunts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like this. Oh, go ahead.
Not to show my age, but I kind of was copping weed when like tray bags went out of style. And there was spots around my way that had tray bags that you could roll like 2 L's out of. That was like fire skunk and shit, like some real green. Like that's when weed was weed.
I remember tray bags, but damn, bro, I was never blessed to have no Jones you could roll 2 L's out of.
Yeah, man. Like
I wouldn't have made it through high school, man.
Yeah, talk to me. I did it. Talk to me, man. Because of that, I didn't make it through high school. You know, I had to go back later and go get a GED, but that shit had me stuck on stupid. You know what I mean? So
I'm sure, but then it probably expanded your mind musically. So ultimately, it ended up working out to the good. You know,
it did. It did. In some ways, yeah, it definitely did. I mean, it was more so the environment more than anything else. But my environment inspired me more than anything. But yeah, those are some special times, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So speaking of things I consider special, I love the all elements movement. You know, like you know, it's in the name. It embraces all elements of hip hop. You know, I feel like too much of it's forgotten. Like for one thing, I say this on a few shows. I think hip hop, regardless of what region it's from, needs more scratching.
Right.
And I mean, this ain't an element of hip hop, but I miss like back when every album had a song with a reggae hook.
Right. We bringing that back. Check out a brother of mine by the name of King Marvy X. We did something with a producer from France by the name of DJ Poster a couple years ago, and we displayed that. It had a reggae hook on it through my man King Marvy X. But I got some stuff up my sleeve, and I'm actually building with some brothers in my neighborhood. Salute to the 90s, East 95th. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some brothers in the neighborhood that I'm gonna be working with. But we gonna bring that element back. We're gonna definitely bring that element back. And what we do is we strive to preserve the culture. That's what All Elements is about. That's what me and DJ J-Ronin is about. And add our twist to it. You know what I mean? Like we want to preserve what made us. You know what I mean? Like, and what inspired us. You know what I mean? We want to keep that energy in the air. So that's what All Elements is basically about. You know what I mean? We about the history. We about preserving the culture. You know what I'm saying? And keeping the integrity going. You know what I'm saying? Like And that's why the brothers do give us the blessings that we get, because they know that's what we about. You know what I mean? When a lot of brothers abandoned that boom bap sound or abandoned that sound, we stuck at it at a time when it wasn't cool to stick at it. And when even some of our greats was being forgotten, we sort of try to keep that alive, and we did. You know what I mean? And
hey, bro, I hate to disagree with you, but I think it would be better to say it wasn't popular, because I think
right, it was, yeah,
I think staying true to yourself is actually cool as a motherfucker.
right. But you know, there was fights I had to get into back then about what was real and what was fake, because there was a music that was of ignorance that was just overpowering everything. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, it wasn't cool to be intelligent no more. It was like, yo, they sticking some dumb shit at you. Like, yo, it's like, yo, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, so.
I mean, that's social engineering, bro. That's programming.
Right.
That shit ain't no accident.
Right. So we had to fight against that, and
because I mean, like for real, what like we know the record companies is capitalistic corporations, right? Mm-hmm. and we know that MC Lyte and Queen Latifah is commercially viable. So right. if they haven't recreated that, they've recreated every other motherfucking artist. So if they haven't recreated that artist, which is financially viable, it must be because they have a larger interest at hand. And I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's solid, concrete evidence right there. Like, why would not? Why would not a new version of MC Lyte not work?
Yeah, so, look at this. That's the powers that be. Now, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just so much, man. Like, we had to sort through. You know what I mean? So it goes back to just knowing the history. You know.
Word. Speaking of knowing the history, like, there ain't really no question here. Just a couple of observations. Your Bangers and B-Sides project is excellent. If anybody wants to get a broad overview of who you are and who you've worked with and what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Was it Bangers and B-Sides 1? There's 1 and 2.
Well, Bangers and B-Sides 1 particularly, you know, you got all the Gold Chain Military on there, the song with Jada Kiss, a lot of Wu-Tang stuff, you know, the C. Ray Walls, Frank Knight.
Yeah.
And then the one I wanted to talk about, you know, I'm not sure, I probably had heard Madlib before, but you know, I knew who you were. Like, the way I learned of you was I saw More Rice on Hip Hop DX.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I became who Madlib was as an artist. And, you know, I listened to bootlegs and Bangers and B-Sides. Bangers and B-Sides at the time. And I remember that I was excited when I connected with J-Ronin and I got to interview him. You know, one of the first people I asked, because I listened to Freestyle Files, and I was like, could you put me in touch with Sav Killz, because I would love to do a show with him. Because you know, that's one thing I wanted to ask you. That J-Ronin Freestyle Files, you know, Speak All Elements, that was an excellent project. But I'm curious if you were in his presence or if you sent it to him, just to your awareness, what was his reaction when he heard your Rebellion freestyle? Because that, man, you went bananas on that.
Rebellion? Was that over the Alchemist beat?
It's the one that's on Freestyle Files. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, that right there. Oh, man. Ronin knows me. He knows me. He like, me and him fight. Like, he ain't gonna let me leave without me bringing out my best. So we fight with that sometimes. Like, he knows how to bring the best shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I rock with him. And he ain't gonna let me half step on nothing. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Like, he's a great A&R. He's a great ear. He's a great tastemaker. He knows how to bring something out of somebody musically. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him that. And Rebellion was like, I heard the Alchemist beat, and I was like, because I'm known for jacking like obscure beats, and More Rice was another. I'm gonna tell you what I've been chasing my whole career. Danger.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's a joint that I got that I hit the scene with called Danger. And it was from the moment. I jacked it from the moment. Shout out to Chicago in the moment. And it was an original joint from Cage and Copyright. I was a big Cage fan and Weatherman fan and all that stuff too. Me being on the underground head that I am, I'm a head first. I'm a head first. I'm a fan first. I had jacked that from them. And Danger was like, I was going through some things at the time. I was actually on my way to being homeless at the time. And I just had a bunch of energy and frustration in me, and that's what came out, Danger. And that's what brought that about. But I've been chasing that energy through my whole career. Like More Rice was that. There was another joint scratching the surface was that, because I have these 32s that in the clip that I was kind of known for, like without a hook. You know what I mean? Like that's when everybody was just going in without a hook. You know what I mean? So that's a joint that I've been chasing, that I strive to bring forth on all my projects. You know, something of that ilk.
I'd say you've been rather successful. You know, and listening to that, I heard you speak on the golden era of hip hop. I'm curious, what do you consider that to be?
Let's see. From man, like I would say for me, like it's from like 87 to like or 86 maybe. To like 98. I think I would say that.
I can dig it.
It's like after 98, everything kind of started going downhill.
Yeah.
And then we had another. We did have another golden era though. We had another one. It's not like of the golden era we come from, but there's another golden era. And I think that other golden era started with the Kendrick Lamars and the J. Coles and those kids. You know what I'm saying? The Joey Badasses, and because those kids held it down too. Those kids helped. You know, they hold down the torch. So I would say, like, yeah, like I'm even learning from those kids today. Like, you know what I mean? Like I try to tap in. Like I never want to be, and my man Frank Knight. You know, I never want to be one of those OGs that be like, yo, later for the young heads or later for the da-da-da. I always try to embrace the youth and see what the youth is doing, because they lead the culture. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I stay tapped in and stay fresh.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
I got a theory about that. I call it old brain. Like when all of a sudden, like, you just can't accept something because it's new.
And that's why these dudes die like dinosaurs. That's why they die like dinosaurs. They disappear.
Yeah, no bullshit. But you know, well, I mean, there ain't really no smooth transition. I'm trying to work on my little podcast again. But on your Wikipedia page, I noticed it said you performed at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe before, and I've heard mad stories about that place. Yeah. And I'm just curious, what was it like?
Nuyorican is a very legendary place to rock in New York City. Nuyorican Poets Cafe. A lot of great MCs came from there. Immortal Technique is one of them. C. Ray's Walls. A lot of greatness came from I believe Punchline and Words. They used to do it. But a lot of greatness came from Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And later on, shout out to my guy. Oops.
It's all good, bro. We can still hear you.
My bad. I got you. My bad. Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, when that happens, we can still hear you though. You can just keep talking. The screen turned black. Got you.
The greatness, I was saying, Mortal Technique, and shout out to my guy, homeboy Sandman. he was the latest to come out, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And yeah, that's a very legendary spot to rock, man. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't hold the same magnetism that it once had, because it kind of do. It always will have that, but it's a great vibe there. I would recommend that spot. It's a good spot to go chill, go see some poetry, cool out, vibe, grab a glass of wine, cool out with your chick. It's a good spot.
Word, grown folk type shit. So,
Yeah.
you know, sticking with the Wikipedia page, apparently, well, I mean, not apparently, obviously, but Popa Wu's been a big mentor in your life. So I'm curious how you met him, what he's like, because you know, my only familiarity is hearing him drop knowledge on albums, you know.
Right. Popa Wu, man, like going back to Bedford-Stuyvesant, in the Nation of the Gods and the Earths, my educator was a brother by the name of Born Supreme. And he was connected in with the clan and everybody, and Popa Wu and everybody, and he sort of brought me amongst them. And once I connected with Popa Wu took a liking to my energy. And from then on, we just connected and we became brothers, and he used to take me around different venues, different spots or whatever they was at in the early years of Wu-Tang. Sort of like around the time of Liquid Swords.
Gotcha.
So my relationship from Wu go back to like Liquid Sword days. Like I seen the Wu when they was in like at the height of their shit, I was around them. And I was sort of like a young guard around them, you know what I mean? And like I remember being at the tunnel at the Liquid Swords album release party.
Damn.
And I'm starstruck with Dirty dancing next to me with fucking Angie Martinez from, you know what I mean? Like those moments, like us rushing in the tunnel, crazy deep, and RZA there with a black reflector suit on, like, yo, God, ain't nobody stopping us. We getting in, Lord. Ain't nobody stopping us. So, like a hundred more wild Brooklyn and Staten Island cats. Killer bees, like all day. So I was around that in the prime, in the height. You know what I mean? And I got a chance to experience that, you know what I mean? And that stuck with me. You know, shouts to Born Supreme, my educator. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I actually was supposed to, they took me to spit for Dirty, but Dirty wasn't home at the time, and I spit for Popa Wu. And I was on some battle shit back then. I was trying to battle everybody. You know what I mean? So
right.
That's how I came in, you know?
Was Popa Wu ever like playful and shit, or was he just always like some Buddha type cat?
Popa Wu, Freedom was militant. Freedom was a warrior, man. Freedom, he was the spirit that kept the clan in check. You know what I mean? He kept everybody in check. Like you would go around Popa Wu, he would automatically feel like, yo, this is my crazy uncle. This is my old. This is he had the father figure vibe.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And you knew, don't start no bullshit around Free, because he's gonna put you in check.
Nah,
he's gonna put you in check with the quickness.
I can dig it. Shit, I love people like that, to be real with you. Have you been oh, go ahead.
Nah, and we all looked up to him. Like I never like he was that authoritative figure. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn, he loved you. If he loved you, he loved you. He wouldn't have you around if he didn't love you. You know what I'm saying? Because we go off of energy. We deal with energy. You know what I mean? Like we big on that. So it's like, if he didn't feel there was something in my heart that was positive and pure, he wouldn't have never had me around. You know? And that's just it with the clan. You know what I mean? Like those are good brothers. Like, yeah. And that's just it. Rest in peace. Well, you know, we don't die. We live through a law's mathematics. Energy don't die. So I don't even want to say rest in peace. You know what I mean? He's still here. He's still here through us. So yeah, man, Popa Wu, man, forever, man. Freedom of law. One thing he used to say, freedom of death. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, freedom of death, kid. What you gonna choose? You know what I'm saying? Word. Free the dumb with a wise dome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep. You said you looked up to him, man. I mean, obviously, I don't know the lessons, but just man, I feel like anybody that was listening to them albums back then would look up to him because it made what he was saying made sense. But you know, talking about them days, have you been watching the Wu-Tang series on Hulu?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. It just brings back my whole childhood. You know what I'm saying? It just brings back that. Like, it's like, oh man.
Bro, I'm up at like 7 watching that shit on Wednesdays.
Yeah, man. It's a special thing because like our whole era is on TV again right now.
You think they're doing a good job capturing the vibe?
Yeah. I'm still the characters are still growing on me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think they got Dirty right. I think Meth is right with Davies. I know Joey Badass was supposed to play Inspector Deck, but they got the other cat to do it. But nah, I can't complain. I can't complain, man. Like I'm you know, I can't complain. I like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Even with 50, like I said, even with 50 is doing, like he's showing with Raising Canaan, all that's our era. You know?
Word. Shit, bro. I mean, it be killing me. My kids, they be watching like Nickelodeon and Disney shows, you know, like with little white families, right? And I swear to God, they talk like rappers from the 80s, and not they don't talk like it, but they slang. They say shit like dope and
yeah.
I mean, it's better examples than that, but
yeah,
it's just so crazy to me that like this culture that was like pushed away, and then like you know like I grew up in a black community that was mostly church folk, right? And then you know crackhead.
You from Oakland, right?
No, I'm from the DC area.
Oh, DC, right.
Right. I'm like right near where Kevin Durant grew up in PG County, but where I lived at was closer to DC than where he lived at. But and man, I forgot the point.
It's all good. We just kicking it, man.
Shit. I mean, I know I got another question though. I know from looking at your Instagram that you got a nice little low collection polo. For those ain't to know. And I'm curious, in your opinion, do you think you can get good polo at TJ Maxx, Ross, places like that?
Oh, definitely. Those are spots we keep secret, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can walk in them spots and you might catch some crazy ill on the right day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are spots, man. Like we keep those spots secret. You know what I mean? We don't tell everybody about our spots. If you're a low life, we was raised low lives and DCEPs. Like my era in New York, I came in the era we didn't have Bloods and Crips. We had low lives and DCEPs.
Right.
So in my era, like I'm from Flatbush and spent a lot of time at Bed-Stuy. So I was raised in Flatbush, born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And if you from the Bush, we some of the flyest people. We some of the flyest cats. You know what I mean? So like gearheads, graffiti heads and gearheads, like when you talk about Flatbush, besides like the Caribbean community, like we was the Get Fresh kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew a Flatbush kid because he gonna have the flyest piece in the room. And we was like the flyest kids. Like, so when you go on the spot, you know, Brooklyn, we could tell where you're from. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell a Flatbush cat. You could tell a Brownsville cat. You could tell a Bed-Stuy cat. You know what I mean? So
now, I know about it in DC. You could tell where somebody was from like what shoes they was wearing, basically. Like so they had great New Balance. They was from here, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the Bush, man, we was kings of the Get Fresh, kid. Like we had to be dipped coming up. We might be broke, but we definitely won't look like it. You know what I'm saying? We found the way to get fly. Put it that way.
Brother, I know all about it, man. One year at school, I saved my lunch money every motherfucking day. Didn't eat shit until I could buy a pair of fucking Pippins.
Word is born. Like I used to go in spots and I ain't have enough money for what I wanted. I go switch the tag on something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the hunger we have for being fresh and dip. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like low lives all day. 2L, shout out to Thurston. Shout out to Rack Low in them. But it was a crew I was running with called Low Profile back then in the 30s of Flatbush. Dana and all, it was a part of Low Lives or whatever. It was like, you know, because there's many little crews and cliques within Low Lives as well. Steam Team, you know what I mean? So I came from that as far as the fashion and the gear side of me. You know, I'm a gearhead, you know what I mean? Like right now, look what I'm wearing. I'm bringing back the old school Columbias and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I remember
cop this shit right here. Old school Columbia shit. You know what I'm saying? With all the fly colors. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this was called a whiz bang. It got the fleece inside of it, and it got like the fly colors. Like ski, we come from ski jackets. Like we ski jacket heads and shit. Word.
Yeah. See, we rocked the Eddies. Y'all ain't fuck with the Eddie Bowers, did you?
We rocked a little bit of Eddie, but
that was like the shit.
So
motherfuckers people was killing each other over the Eddies. Like the bear coats that had like the fur on the hood. It was like 1 year they had one with a thermometer. And you better have a motherfucking pistol if you have one of those on you, because like motherfuckers will stop their car and hop out and try to rob you. The Columbia Jones we fucked with the rain suits.
Yeah, the rain suits was dipped too. Yep. I was just looking at one of those. But
man, them shits work too. Them shits to keep you dry. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. And that's when clothes was quality. You know, like a lot of stuff got like kind of like watered down as time went by because they, you know, I guess the output of it, you know what I mean? And
originally they'd be brands that like a family or a group of people started, then they sell them to big corporations, and the corporations just use the brand name and then put out some bullshit.
Right. And
like Rolling Stone ain't even owned by nobody that ever had anything to do with Rolling Stone anymore.
Right.
They just bought the rights to that name. So like that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's not the same as like getting a Rolling Stone from 1984 or something. Like you ain't getting no against the government counterculture articles out that shit no more. That's for sure.
Right. My thing is, man, like, you know, I just want to keep the B-boy vibe alive, man. I just want to keep the B-boy alive. But going back to the Get Fresh, no, yeah, we strive to be different. And those brands, like another brand I grew up on was Ocean Pacific.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, because the B-boy thing was like you know, sweatsuits, track suits, and like windbreakers. So my goal is I want to get further into fashion and create like a windbreaker brand. Like even if you know, if you could reboot an old brand like Ocean Pacific, which had the dopest colors, you know, we graffiti heads as well. So graffiti heads, we study color schemes.
Right.
You know, going back to wild style when like all the fly colors, you know, so, you know, we know colors and we know color schemes, and that's the attracting thing about putting fresh colors together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on that. You know, I'm big on colors and, you know, being standout guy and gear and shit like that. So like, I just come from that. This is a part of me.
Hey, you said going back to wild style, curiosity, what you think the best rap movie ever is?
I'm gonna say Crush Groovin', because Crush Groovin' was the first hip hop movie I seen as a kid in the movie theaters. And it just came out on the 20th. It came out, what was that? I forgot the year, but it came out October 25th. It came out the other day. I think it was 87 or something like that. 88, 87, somewhere. But Crush Groovin'. My favorite part of that movie is just LL Cool J with the boombox.
Yeah. I mean, I was a big Disorderly's head when I was little, but I watched it. It don't hold up as much.
Oh, Disorderly's too. Disorderlies too, Fat Boys. You know what I mean? Can't forget about them. Yep.
Do you like any
Hell yeah.
southern? Do you like any southern rappers?
Of course, definitely, bro. Big on Scarface, of course.
Okay,
The
there you
Ghetto
go.
Boys, of course. Luda, the whole Dungeon family. I've met them personally. Killer Mike, you know what I mean? Shout out to Run the Jewels. Who else? Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean that starting with Scarface, man, like, yeah, hell yeah. We listened to other regions, man. Like, we definitely paid attention. I was big on NWA back in the days. We definitely
how could you not be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we definitely paid attention to other regions. Like, it wasn't just New York. Like, you had to, because hip hop was just hip hop. You know what I mean? That's how we looked at it. You know?
So is you fucking like Diggable Planets and shit like that too?
Hell yeah. Who else? Arrested Development. I was just listening to the rest of Arrested Development today. Everyday People.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that song. I forgot about how great that song was, man.
Yeah, and they had the Mr. Window thing, but I think Homeboy went
Mr. Window, yeah.
I think Homeboy went to prison for like pedophilia or some shit though.
Shout out to Fat Lip in them from the Far Side.
Yeah. She keeps on passing me by.
Dropping. I'm ahead. Like hip hop is hip hop. I don't care what region it comes from.
Yeah, I see.
So yeah, it's like, man, I'm just always gonna be a devoted fan. Like, to wherever it come from, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
if it's good, it's good, right?
If it's good, it's good. Currency, Wayne is the Little Wayne. He's grown on me more during the years. Yeah, man. Of course, Jay Electronica, but you would think Jay Electronica was from New York, the way he rap. He's like Killer Priest and Biggie all over again, like, to me. You know what I mean? So it's like and nobody would ever thought he was from New Orleans.
Right.
You know? Even Planet Asia, you could say Planet Asia, you would think he was from New York. He's from Fresno. So hip hop is hip hop, man. You know, if it's in you, it's in you. The MC is you know, we don't have no, you know, if that energy is there, it's there.
Yeah, that's the one thing I always liked. You get acceptance if you're good.
Yeah, that's it. You could be from the planet Pluto. You could be from Mars. You could be a green little man running around as long as you could spit. That's all I care about. Word.
No doubt.
You know?
So before we wrap it up, you got anything to plug, anything we should be watching out for? And please shout out all your socials and all that good stuff.
Follow me, IG at Sav Killz. That's SAVKILLZ. My other aka Jamel Rockwell, Dr. Nomad. I got a few AKAs and aliases. My Flatbush people know me as Sidehead. Nah, it's some craziness. But like yeah, my socials, it's just everything Sav Killz, videos, YouTube me, Google me. Right now we working on getting y'all that Absence of Time project out. I also got some good news coming for another record. I got a couple records I got coming. I got a group with my homie CX Kid Tronic, who had a couple projects out through Stone's Throw. I got a project out coming with him. We got a group called Crack Kills, which is one MC and one producer, sort of on our Gangstar thing.
Right.
And so I got that coming, Crack Kills. Still Determined is coming. That's coming, that was long overdue. So we bringing y'all that sooner than later. Still Determined. And also got something in the works with Camouflage Monk from Griselda. Shout out to Griselda. Okay. Me and Camouflage Monk got a project coming. And those brothers been cool too. So I'm glad they helped down the torch for boom bap. Yeah, I got a couple things up my sleeve. You know what I mean? And I got some singles coming. Shouts to Wavy the God. I got some singles coming with Wavy the God. You know, you look out for those. And we gonna hit them. I'm gonna keep hitting them. I got some more stuff up my sleeve with the clan, Killer Bees in effect, live and direct. Shout to the guards and shit. You know what I mean? And big up the Capadonna, big up the Priest, Inspector Deck, Bronze Nazareth. I see you out there. Killer Bees, period, man. You know what I mean? So I got some stuff coming, man. Word.
Shit, that's what's up, brother. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, you take it light. Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.
One love.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.